AI is shaking up pretty much every industry you can think of, and hiring is definitely no exception. But what if there was a powerful AI tool, one that could screen CVs and even conduct interviews, that came with a price tag that's, well, impossible to beat? Zero. Today, we're going to look at a new player in the recruitment game that has a business model that might just change everything. Okay, let's dive in.
But first, let me ask you something, and this is for anyone who's ever tried to get a job or even tried to hire someone. Doesn't the whole traditional process just feel kind of broken? You've got the endless back and forth for scheduling, the same repetitive questions over and over, and let's be honest, those gut feelings that can often override actual qualifications. It's just a process that's full of friction for everyone.
So to really get what this new solution is trying to do, we've got to first take a hard look at the problem it's designed to solve. Let's break down what we'll call the old way of hiring.
Okay, so look at this. This really lays out the whole argument. The old way? It's just incredibly time-consuming, which of course leads to massive costs when you think about everyone's salaries. But here's the big one. A key part of the pitch for these new AI tools is that traditional hiring relies so heavily on those gut feelings, which can be a huge gateway for unconscious bias to creep in. So the problem they're trying to solve is a system they see as slow, expensive, and, potentially really unfair.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the alternative? Well, enter Flowmingo, an AI assistant that's really designed to tackle these exact problems head-on.
And what they're promising here is, well, that's pretty compelling. We're talking about replacing hours and hours of live interviews with these super efficient AI interviews you can do anytime. The system gives you a professional analysis, not just a gut check. And they claim this isn't just a simple pre-recorded video either. The AI can actually ask smart follow-up questions. The goal is to make it fairer by letting candidates interview on their own time, on their own schedule, capturing their real, authentic answers. And listen, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. It's already out there being used in the real world. The company says that over 2,500 recruiters and teams all over the globe have already started using this tool to completely reshape how they hire.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how does this thing actually work? Let's take a look at it in practice.
So the AI interviewer is designed to be super simple. It's basically 3 steps. First, you create the interview, picking the exact skills you want to test. Then, you just share one single link with all your candidates. No logins, no apps to install. And finally, you just review the results. You get the video recordings, you get AI-generated summaries, and you get scores you can compare, all designed to help you find the best people in a tiny fraction of the time.
Then you've got the second main feature, which they say is just as easy. You just upload a candidate's CV, the AI chews on it, analyzes it against your job requirements, and bam, you get an instant report that details their scores and their strengths. The whole point is to get you away from manually sifting through endless piles of resumes.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But now we have to talk about the elephant in the room. That price tag, that free forever thing.
Yeah, exactly. How on earth is this free? I mean, come on. We live in a world where you pay a subscription for literally everything. So a free forever model for a powerful AI tool? It just sounds way too good to be true. So what's the catch?
Well, the answer is actually pretty clever. It's all on what Flowmingo calls a career growth ecosystem. It's a two-sided approach. Instead of charging companies for hiring, they've built a model that serves both the recruiter and the job candidate. In this chart, this just lays it all out perfectly. Look, for recruiters, the main tools, unlimited interviews, CV screening, reports, all of it is completely free. For candidates, taking the interview is also 100% free. So where does the money come from? It's simple. The platform is paid for by candidates who choose to buy optional career growth tools, things like mock interview practice. It's basically a freemium model, just completely flipped on its head to serve the candidate instead of the company.
So now that we get the business model, let's look at the results. What kind of impact is this actually having on the hiring process for people who use it?
So let's talk money. What's the bottom line? According to Flowmingo's own return on investment calculator, they project that a team doing about 100 interviews could save over $2,000 in labor costs alone. The whole idea is that these savings come from slashing the time spent in live screening calls, and you're doing it with a tool that costs nothing up front.
And it's not just about the numbers. We're seeing testimonials from actual recruiters that seem to back all this up. Take Nellie Nenzobot Nelson here. She highlights how it streamlines the whole process, saves a ton of time, and leads to more informed decisions. It's really that shift from gut feel to decisions backed by data.
But here's the really interesting part. It's not just a win for recruiters.
This quote from a candidate shows the other side of the story. The feedback from the AI gave her a useful, real takeaway she could use for her own career growth. This is that ecosystem thing in action. It's not just a test, it can actually be a learning tool.
And importantly, they've clearly thought about real-world headaches too. The tool works on any device, it supports over 60 languages, and it's built to work even if you have a slow internet connection. Plus, it's GDPR compliant, it's got data encryption, so it tackles those big privacy concerns. And, maybe best of all for any busy team out there, you can just get started right away. No need to sit through a long sales call.
So all of this brings us to one final huge question. With tools like this making the whole process faster, more data-driven, and just radically more accessible, it really feels less like a matter of if AI becomes a standard part of hiring and more a matter of when. So the real question is, will an AI be conducting your next interview?